हरि करना।
Let's move ahead further with more topics in inferential statistics. Let's look into the resampling now. So, resampling in statistics means to repeatedly sample values from observed data with a general goal of assessing random variability in a statistic. So, it can also be used to assess and improve. It's very important. This is very important point for us as a data scientist. It can also be used to assess and improve the accuracy of some machine learning models. Example, I'll give you one example. The predictions from decision trees models built on multiple bootstrapped data sets can be averaged in a process known as bagging, and this is what we use it basically to improve the predictions from decision tree models. In our previous course, that intuitive um, uh, I think in our previous course we have done these examples. So in descriptive statistics, and we have done all these examples like bagging and or multiple bootstrapping. So this we did it. You can go there and watch that video also. So bagging and random forest are the tools which improve the performance of certain models. If you use bootstrapping, that's called bagging, and if you use a random forest, so no, that will work on permutation concept. Okay, so that's what the benefit of using resampling technique. So there are two main types of resampling procedures, the bootstrap and permutation test. So the bootstrap is used to assess the reliability of an estimate. It was discussed in our previous course. If you want, we have explained each and everything with example. If you want, you can watch that. And permutation tests are used to test hypotheses, mainly to test hypothesis. That's the reason that we this permutation test, I put it after hypothesis testing. So typically involves two or more groups, and we discuss these things now. And if you want to watch bootstrapping clearly, kindly watch my previous course. In that course, we have done this. Okay, so the course name is Intuitive Sampling and Distribution for You course. In that course, we have clearly worked on this bootstrapping with examples. With examples, we have used a random forest model, and we have used the decision tree model, and then we used bagging method to improve the decision tree model. Also, kindly watch that. Okay, so let me reiterate what is resampling in much simpler words. So resampling is a statistical technique that involves repeatedly drawing samples from a data set to perform statistical analysis or statistical inference. After statistical analysis, it will lead to a statistical inference. The main idea behind resampling is to use the data to create a large number of new samples, so which can be used to estimate statistics such as means, variance, and confidence intervals. So the main idea behind resampling is just to use the data to create a large number of new samples. There are, as we have told you, two main types of techniques. One is bootstrapping and then permutation testing. So in bootstrapping, the researcher creates new samples by randomly sampling with the replacement from the original data set. That's what we call it as a bootstrapping. Bootstrapping, the researcher creates a new samples by randomly sampling with replacement, note this point, with replacement from the original data set. So the size of each bootstrap sample is typically equal to the size of the original data set. By creating multiple bootstrap samples, the researcher can estimate the variability of statistics such as the mean of the standard deviation and calculate confidence intervals for those statistics. And the second type that we have here is permutation testing. We have discussed earlier. So in permutation testing, the researcher randomly permutes the labels or values of the data points in a data set and creates a new data sets based on these permutations. The size of each permutation data set is typically equal to the size of the original data set. By creating multiple permutation data sets, the researcher can estimate the distribution of a statistic such as the difference in means between two groups. This is where the difference comes between the bootstrapping and permutation testing. It is used for the multiple different variables. So by creating permutation data sets, the researcher can estimate the distribution of a statistic such as the difference in means between two groups, and can test whether this statistic is significantly different from what would be expected by chance. So, bootstrapping and permutation testing are powerful techniques for estimating statistics for performing hypothesis testing, especially when the underlying distribution of the data is unknown or non-normal. So resampling techniques can be easily implemented in softwares such as Python or R and are widely used in many fields including finance, biology, and engineering.